Hello, everybody. Welcome to Release with Ease. I am your host, Edith Bekis, and this show was brought to you by Bold Brave TV. Today's episode is all about subconscious mind, what the subconscious mind holds, the habits, the beliefs, the fears. We're going to dive deep into those. And we're also going to do a drawing exercise, which is going to help you to actually understand more your subconscious beliefs, because sometimes we don't know what is there, right? So while we are waiting for more people to join live, I also would love to tell you why and how I become a holistic therapist and success habit coach. In my 20s, I experienced panic attacks. I love traveling. I traveled a lot, mostly alone around the globe. And during one of my travel, I actually had this sensation which I couldn't explain. I went to a doctor, I got some tranquilizers, which was freaking me out. So eventually, returning from that trip, I started to search for some remedies which were natural. So that's why I ended up at the Reiki healing, and I became a practitioner and later a Reiki master. And then from there, this was my hobby back then because I was a petroleum engineer. So it was my sanctuary, my hobby to do some spiritual practices. I did family constellation therapies as well, to healing myself and my family and my relationships. And then from there, I also get introduced to karma yoga healing in 2018, which really turned my life around and really shocked me with the results. And then if you watch the first episode, you know how powerful is the samadhi meditation, which is one of the technique of the karma yoga. This is actually an Adi Yogi Shiva technique. And we're going to do more of those techniques in the coming episodes. And I also became a Shakam practitioner, Shakam healer. So all of these modalities help me to get healed, help me to evolve and raise my vibration and actually experience life in a much more beautiful way. And when I get to introduce to karma yoga healing, that was the point when I decided to actually help others, because that was very shocking experience with the results, and the benefits. So that's how I am actually started to do my business and help other people with these techniques. And then that's how I became a holistic therapist, because I love helping people to overcome PTSD, depression, panic attacks, because I also experienced some of those. So I felt really called to do that. So what is about the subconscious mind? Before I'm going to start to explain it, I would like you to just open up more your body by raising your arms, wiggling them up, and move also your waist. Why are we doing that? Because as you're raising your arm, you're opening up your energy body more for receiving information. And while you're moving your waist, you're also more grounding yourself. So do that a bit. So you're going to be more open to receive any kind of information. And I highly recommend you to grab a notebook, because probably you're going to hear some information what you haven't heard before. And I love to have some beautiful notebooks. So I really recommend to everyone, if you take notes from lessons or anything, or you do some manifestation practices, you actually care about what kind of notebook you use, okay? Because that's also an energy, right? So you want to look at it and you want to be happy about it. So what is about our subconscious mind? As I explained this in the first episode, around 45% of the time you are controlled by your subconscious mind, is because the body goes into autopilot as soon as you are comfortable with the things what you do. For example, washing your teeth, driving your car, you are so familiar with it. You can do it even without focusing, right? So then the subconscious mind sneaks in, take over. You are doing your things on autopilot, and then your body and your brain basically saving energy because you're not focusing. But what is the danger here is that what is in the subconscious mind? Your subconscious mind holds, first of all, your beliefs. But those beliefs are not truly your beliefs, because you get them like before you were 7 years old. And those beliefs coming from your environment, from your parents, from your teachers, from your family members, from friends, anybody who were around you and affected you, basically. Some of the beliefs, talking about how you look at the world, right? What is your perspective about the world? It's controlling your perspective. The other part of these beliefs are the beliefs about yourself. And then many times these are limiting beliefs, because those people who were maybe telling you things about you. They might wanted manipulated you, or might wanted to affect you by their judgment, their criticism. So they were telling you things to move you to take, so that you feel like you need to take action. So it might, sometimes it wasn't coming from a bad intention, but then it still caused damage. And then with your current goal settings and your current wantings is not aligned anymore. So might they criticized you about how slow you are, or how fat you are, or how, I don't know, how incapable you are, because they wanted to motivate you, like to lose weight or to do this and that. And then you grow up, and then now you have a perfect body, but still those subconscious beliefs are still there, that, oh, I am this and that and that. But it's in many ways, like it could be about, again, how you perceive anything around you. So it can actually affect your relationships, how you look at the other person, and how you actually look at different situations in life. So it can affect a lot of things around you, what is in the subconscious mind, and what other people were telling about these things when you were a child. So where was your upbringing, and how it happened. The other things what is in the subconscious mind is your habits. And then if you think about it, the habit is also coming from your environment, like what the other people were doing around you. Obviously you're going to have the same habits as them, because you spend your time with them, either good habits or bad habits. And what does it mean, good habits or bad habits, right? Bad habits are the ones who's affecting your health, your mental or physical health, or other people's health or environment in a negative way. And the good habits are basically which allowing you to stay healthy, and then also grow and learn and evolve, basically. So if you look at your life, like you can even write two columns and say, okay, these are my negative habits and these are my positive habits. So what to do with them, right? So if you are aware of your negative habits, and you are like, oh, I should get rid of this, I shouldn't do this, but I just like have this habit. So basically, to get rid of those habits, we all need discipline for that, because it's not going to happen overnight. It's a long process, right? So discipline to know that, yeah, I need to stop it, but yeah, I'm giving myself some time to be able to stop it. But you need to be disciplined. How to get that discipline? You need to make it easier for you to stop it, basically. For example, you want to stop smoking, then don't buy cigarettes, right? Or don't be around people who smoking. So that's the discipline there. Or you want to, for example, stop watching TV before you sleep. So take the TV out of your bedroom. And then, so these kind of actions that you can actually help your discipline with certain actions, so you can be more, it's going to be easier for you basically to get rid of negative habits. The other thing is having a accountability partner. It can be a family member, a friend who's maybe not doing the same action as you. Maybe they don't need to get rid of the same habit, but they checking on you, like, have you done this today, or have you focused on not to do this today, obviously. So it's really helps. It's really helps for people. And the other thing what is helps, because everything is energy, basically, to meditate, to do the samadhi meditation, which we practiced at the first episode. Because when you do those meditations, your whole way of thinking, your whole way of looking at the world is changing. So it's going to be easier to take those actions. You're going to be more called to get rid of those habits. It's going to be more effortless. So you don't need to push so hard, and it's just great if it's easier, right? And so then what you do with the positive habits, yeah, I mean, I would recommend most of the time not writing down your own positive habits, but good habits which you want to implement because you don't have them yet. For example, you've seen it in other people who were maybe achieved the goals you want to achieve. And then you were like, oh, they do this, they do that, and this helped them. So probably I should implement those habits, those health habits, or those dietary habits, or nutrition habits, or maybe sleep patterns, or whatever they have similar habits, what you want to do. Then basically you make a list and then you start implementing them. And again, with discipline, with practicing, with doing it more often, making reminders, having an accountability partner, so on and so forth. And again, with the meditation, it's also going to be much easier. So this is what you can do about the habits. With the beliefs, it's a bit more tricky. We're going to talk about that later in this episode after we do the drawing exercise, because it's more related to that. So what else is in the subconscious mind? The fears. The fears are here to protect us, right? During our evolution as human, not to do silly things, not to get into accidents, failures, mistakes. Then there was the fear to protect you. But it's also protecting you many times to grow, to get out of your comfort zone, to do something different. And then that's what is more, how can I say? So in this era where there is so many opportunities, there are so many things you can choose from. Your fears are the ones which is blocking you to try those things, right? Or to step into some new areas of your life. In the old days, like hundreds of years ago, when you were actually doing the same thing as your ancestors were doing, and then it was comfortable to have the same protection, the same fear, the same habits, the same beliefs. But now it's like we evolve very fast as the technology changing, everything is changing around us very fast. So we need to evolve fast too, our mindset, our beliefs, and then also how we actually handle our fears. Of course, if it's about physical things, yeah, it's your taste, like how fearful you can be or fearless you can be, right? Some people like to be comfortable not doing any extra or extreme sports, right? Or something out of the box things, just that keep themselves safe, and that's great. That's really beautiful. It's less job for the ER, right? But basically, somebody loves to do extreme sports, or somebody loves to enjoy all the amazing experiences around Earth, because there are so many, right? So it's everybody's choice, the taste in their fear limit. But when it's about just everyday actions, then it's really bad for you, right? Like, for example, there are people who's having social anxiety and then they don't want to go to networking, or some people having maybe even fear of meeting someone, go on a date, or and why it happened to them is, again, could go back to the beliefs. They don't feel good enough, they don't feel prepared, and all of these beliefs can create those fears. So that's already like connecting more things together. So then it's more difficult to release and let go of all of those things and step into your next level. That's why you need to kind of work on your subconscious mind and work on your traumas and work on everything which is affecting your decisions. Basically, that's what we're going to do here in Release with Ease. So as you're watching more episodes, basically you're gonna see, like with the episodes, like how we release from different area of your minds, right? The subconscious, the unconscious, and how we connect with the superconscious, or clearing things from the superconscious. So basically there is different layers you need to handle before you can say, oh, I feel so great, right? Because there is so many things which is affecting your life. So so the fear again, yes, when you when it's just about little steps, and then it's still and it's really fearing you to only take, like, even to go to the store, or even to talk to someone, that's when you really realize that you need help, right? Because that's like you're not even at the norm, and then above the norm is like anybody's can deal with it how they want. But probably when you were a child at school, you were kind of had to interact, you had to do this and that, and then certain experiences happened to you, or at the workplace, and that's why you started to have that anxiety or stress, and then that's how you developed more fear because of the experiences. And I believe even probably you having panic attacks and all kinds of stress if you have to interact with people, and this fear is coming to you. That is something which needs to work on a deeper level, to make sure that you actually can overcome that fear. Is not something what you can do only with subconscious reprogramming, because it's most likely there are some traumatic experiences which caused it, right? So it's not always enough just to work with the subconscious mind. It's not gonna resolve everything just doing subconscious reprogramming. Sometimes you need to go deeper, obviously. Okay, so we are at the time to go on a little break. So thank you so much for watching. You are watching Release with Ease, and I am your host, Edith B. Kiss. And we are coming back soon with some subconscious drawing exercise. So if you don't have a notebook yet or a piece of paper, grab it before you could come back so you can do the exercise with us. All right. Thank you so much. See you soon. Hello, hello. Welcome back to Release with Ease. I'm your host, Edith Bikis, and this show was brought to you by Bold Brave TV. And now we are going to tune into some subconscious drawing exercises. So I hope you have a pen and paper. You might need a A4 size of paper, and we're going to do 2 drawings today, okay? With my clients, usually we do 6, but I don't want to do so many right now here in this episode. So we're going to focus on 2 areas of your life, but I'm not telling you what you are drawing about. That's the trick, because we're going to trick the subconscious mind to ask for drawing something, and then we analyze it and see it from a different perspective when we actually finish with the drawing. So I'm not telling you what you're drawing about, but you're going to draw about something I tell you, which is going to represent a certain aspect of your life. So the first drawing, what you're going to draw, and don't connect the 2 drawings, okay? You can put it on the same sheet of paper, maybe put a line between them or something, or you use the other side of the paper, whatever you want. But basically, it has to be 2 completely different drawings, and then I show you what you need to initiate the drawing from, okay? That's the key here. So the first drawing, you need to initiate from a dot. So basically, you're going to put a dot on your paper, and when I tell you when you start drawing, then you're going to start drawing something out of it. It can be figurative, non-figurative, anything which comes out of you, okay? So you're going to have 5 minutes to draw the 2 pictures, so it's going to be a lot of time, so you don't need to worry about it. Draw anything you want, okay? The second picture is going to be initiated from a circle, okay? My circle is a bit ugly because I'm just looking at it from sideways. So if you can be if you can do a nicer circle, then that should be a circle, okay? So put a circle on the second page, second paper, and that's what you're gonna use for your second drawing. So basically draw whatever you feel like drawing and just allow to happen it to you, basically allow your hands to go, and then just draw. You can, some people even use colors sometimes, so you can even use coloring, so whatever you want, but basically you can use just one color as well, just draw, okay? So we're gonna give you 5 minutes now, and we're gonna put some nice music under it so it feels a bit better for drawing. And yeah, just start now. You have 5 minutes to draw 2 pictures, okay? And we come back and I tell you how to analyze it, all right? If you joined late, I just let you know that we are doing a drawing exercise, so you can grab a pen and paper. And this is for your first drawing to initiate from, and this is from your second drawing to initiate from. And we are going to analyze your drawing in a couple of minutes. Two more minutes left. One more minute left. You don't need to make a whole Picasso. All right. I hope you were able to finish. Thank you so much for the music. So the first picture was about you. So if you're looking at what you were drawing, you're gonna see like, oh my God, if you think about it, like, what am I? My subconscious mind is thinking about me. That's what you were drawing in that picture. So how can we analyze this if I don't see your picture? Might you questioning, right? I've done this drawing exercise with hundreds of people, and there was a pattern, basically. What does it mean? I've seen about 5 kinds of drawings from hundreds of people when it was about drawing this, okay? So you either draw one of those. If not, and then you won't find the answer here right now today, then I highly recommend you to send your drawings to my email to team@editbakis.com, and I promise I will get to them and analyze them and send it back to you, okay? So we want to understand what your subconscious mind is thinking basically about you, right? So what are the pictures you might be drawing? So some people is drawing a spiral out of this. If you drew this, that means you are someone who's open for self-development, who's open to grow, who's open to new informations. So that's a very good thing about yourself, to think it about yourself, right? So that is nothing wrong. So we don't really need to do anything with that, like on subconscious reprogramming label, how you actually proceed yourself. So there is another one. Let me see if you can see that. Yeah, okay. So some people actually from a dot, some people drawing a flower. Often people drawing a flower and they represent themselves as a flower. What does it mean? Vulnerable, sensitive, beautiful, kind, sweet. So you can maybe see how you feel about it. And then there are some people who sometimes put a sun next to the flower. This can show a couple of things. One thing could be that actually they're happy. They feel happy. That's really great. Or sometimes they feel like they need someone to shine at them to to be alive. So they kind of like, maybe they have some neediness in them, or they feel like I can't do this alone, I need someone to be there for me, to support me, to protect me. So that could be when they drew a sun with the flower. The other drawing what I see very often about this is, for example, is like this, like a star kind of thing, but it represents that you are very scattered, that there are so many things you do at the same time. You multitasking, your brain is all over the place, so might you can't focus on one thing, you focusing so many things. So how to deal with that? So in when you have certain beliefs, to make it and you want to reprogram those beliefs, you basically start to saying the opposite, right? So if that belief is a negative belief, so for example here, oh, I'm scattered, I'm multitasking, I feel that I'm draining my energy. So then you can actually know that, all right, I can start saying that I'm actually focused, I am structured, I goal oriented, I give myself space to do things, and then I don't get distracted. So basically you can work on those beliefs. So now we are going on a break, and then I will explain you more about the second picture after the break. All right, so you are watching Release with Ease. I am your host, Edith Bekis, and this was brought to you by Bold Brave TV, and coming back soon. Hello, welcome back to Release with Ease. I am your host, Edith Bekis, and this show was brought to you by Bold Brave TV. And we were just analyzing your drawings, what we were drawing about you were drawing about your subconscious mind. So we are going back to the drawings. So if you are not feeling that you were drawing any of these, I said it was like 5 types. So the 5th type could be like disconnecting to here, which means you kind of still limiting yourself from growing. So you can find some beliefs why you are actually not allowing yourself growing. And with the flower, if you feel like you are still too sensitive, or you feel like too vulnerable, then you can start saying affirmations like, I feel strong, I feel actually I am able to handle anything in life, and I am protected, I am safe, these kind of things, okay? So basically, if you have your drawings different from this, which is very rare, then you can send it to my email to team@editbekis.com. Okay. So the second drawing was from the circle, and that was representing your family. How you feel about your family, your own family, right? How your subconscious is feeling or thinking about your whole relationship dynamics, everything about your own family. Again, some people drawing again some flowers, and then if it's some flower, I tell you what you can look off. You look off to, like what could happen here. So usually the petals representing the family members. So might you want to say, oh, I draw 3 or 4 or 5 petals, and that's actually how many of us living in the household, right? You can also see like what kind of leaves you were drawing. So if it's spiky, then usually there are more fights in the family or some discomfort. If it's more like fluffy, like soft petals, is more like more warm, more hugging, more kind relationship in the family. There are some times when there are drawings of about making different sections, like there are maybe sections in the drawings, and then you could say like, okay, it's represent that how the family members relate to each other. So is it feels a bit disconnection, or is it feel a good connection between them? So it's emphasizing, like for example, if you have drawings when the parts in it in your drawing feels like disconnected, then it represents that you need to communicate more within your family, you need to have more connection in your family. If it represents more like coziness in a picture, maybe with more rounded things, or maybe it's maybe it looks like a candy. I had one of the clients who were drawing a candy. So basically that's showing like the sweetness of the family. So basically You have to watch out for edges. You have to watch out for symbols, like the clouds is usually represents like a bit cloudy situation, foggy situation, maybe uncertainty, maybe not so clear what's going on, and then you feel unstable or unsafe or unsecure. Or it could be like more the rounded things, or the sunny. If you have sun, then basically you are happy in your family situation, so then it represents more of the positive things. So again, if you would like me to analyze your own family drawings, you can send it to the team at editbkis.com. So now I would like to talk more about the beliefs and the subconscious reprogramming when it's about the beliefs. So we did chakra healing or chakra releasing in the meditation. And why we actually doing these chakra healings, because the chakras also represents how we feel about ourselves, or how our emotions are. So the beliefs and how we feel about yourself is related to your solar plexus. So the solar plexus is at the stomach area. You can also see it behind me is the yellow. Yellow is the solar plexus. So when you have issues around your stomach area, maybe your liver, your spine, your spin, and then your gallbladder has some sickness there, that basically represents that you have some beliefs about yourself which is negative, which is damaging, like about your worthiness, about your self-esteem, confidence. So if you feel not enough confident, if you feel have low self-esteem, if you feel like unworthy, not good enough to do certain things, then basically you're gonna start feeling situations around your stomach area, right? Might you even have some stomach pains when you are anxious or stressed before you need to do something? I'm sure you can relate to that. So then the affirmations can help you to reprogram your subconscious mind and also help you with the solar plexus. And these affirmations has to be obviously great things telling about yourself. The thing is that when probably you've seen affirmations a lot on the internet, and they were like, I am great, I am beautiful, I am this, I am that. But it's still maybe not the right way to reprogram yourself, because when you were a child, these of the ruining criticizing and judging words to you were coming through like, you are a failure, you don't know how to do this, or you are stupid. So it was like, you are. So if you want to create great affirmations yourself, then maybe you could record yourself saying you are amazing, you are beautiful, or listening to some of these affirmations on YouTube when they say you are capable, you are strong. And that is going to help you to actually open up and balance your solar plexus, and giving you more self-esteem and more power, and actually reprogramming your subconscious mind for a more positive action taker person, who's also can get out of your comfort zone and actually go towards your goals, reach your goals, which was limited from you due to those programmings which you received as a child. I know that many parents used to think like the building criticism is great, right? Because that's pushing you. But it's later turned out that maybe as a child it was motivating, but later as you become an adult, it was like a very bad belief system which was actually blocking you, right? So that's why we need to do the reprogramming. So if you feel any limitations, if you feel that you have some subconscious beliefs like what is holding you back, why you are afraid of doing some things, then start with this affirmation, start with telling good things about you, basically strengthening you on certain areas. You can make the affirmations aligned with maybe on your relationship side, you are lovable, you are amazing, you are actually, I don't know, just something which you think that someone would appreciate it, you are appreciated, you are loved, you are safe, these kind of things. But then with the work, you can say again, you are capable, you are strong, you are smart, whatever is your work maybe needs you to be. And that's gonna give you the strength to step up and then do what you need to do, right? So you're not feeling lost and hopeless and pulled back. Because I meet with many people who's coming to me because they feel lost. They feel like, okay, I am stuck in this job, but I don't know what I want to do, and if I'm actually able to do what I actually want to do, because they are scared, like, what if I can't manage that thing, or what if I can't achieve the certain things, then I'm going to be a failure, I'm going to do mistakes. So it's a lot of things about what's holding people back. Even I had clients who were lost in their way of being, like, with their jobs or with their goals. They were even scared of having a cat, because they said, oh, that's too much responsibility, I can't even handle to have a cat, but I would love to have a cat. And then eventually, after a couple of weeks of working with me, then they were reported back that they had their cat now. So I was so happy for them, because they felt also lonely, being alone. So basically, when you get out of your shell, when you reprogram your subconscious mind, when you start to feel empowered, you change your life. You change not just yourself with the subconscious reprogramming, but you start to take actions which is helping you to change your life completely, turn it into something what you enjoy more. And that's really important, how you feel in your life, right? If you can enjoy your life, that means you raise your vibration, you're feeling great, you're feeling in gratitude and bliss, and that's attract even more things into your life, because we attract what we are, right, energetically. So it's that's why it's important, the subconscious reprogramming. And it starts with affirmations, starts with new habits, start getting rid of old habits and getting into new habits. And there is something about the memories. I know that many people, the memories are also in the subconscious mind. And I'm telling here now about the memories, like, not the one which is causing you PTSD. I'm not talking about the memories which, like the abuse or the hurt and that. I'm talking about any kinds of memories. So how can they impact you? I know that many people loves watching old pictures or nostalgia with old friends, But what is happening when you do that, you actually entering back into your old persona, which you already grew out of. And as you always going back, watching those old pictures, remembering those old things, you always bringing yourself back into that old persona, although you already left, and then you elevate it from there to your next level. Every new goal of your life requires a new personality of yourself. You probably realize that when you reached a certain goal, then you were already a different person than you were before, like years ago, when you were not reaching that goal, right? So every new goal requires you to be a different person. And that's why when you're looking back always into the past, you still keeping yourself, you still holding yourself back. You are unable to go as fast as you could, right? It's not the speed though, it's more about not having those setbacks, which is mental, more mental than physical setbacks. It's not about not having opportunities or stuff like that. It's more about the energy that you keep your own personal energy a bit hold back due to the lot of memories. So I'm just telling you that is not recommended to nostalgia too much. So maybe you can do it once in a while, but don't get caught up on it, watching always old pictures and thinking about the past, because it's not good for your growth. It's not good for your, elevation and for your healing either, right? So that's why I actually, for the healing perspective, I don't like speaking therapy, because what is happening in the speaking therapy, you revisit those memories which were maybe hurtful on a conscious level. So it means they were in the subconscious, you bring it into the consciousness, but then you don't know what to do with it, and then it's actually going to disturb you even more. I recommend to go into those hurtful moments only if you know how to release them properly. We're going to do that in one of the coming episodes. I will show you how to release properly old traumas, and you're going to be surprised how easy, effortless, and still extremely powerful, and brings great results, and is completely different from speaking therapy, basically. So it's there are certain ways which the mind is such a big thing, is it has so many parts, so many layers, that is actually um, it needs to be really well thought how you enter certain parts of the mind and how to deal with it, and how to close certain doors and how to open others. So that's why I'm here to guide you through that. And we're gonna do some more speaking about what you can expect in the coming episodes after the little break we are having now. And I hope you like the exercise, the drawing exercise. And again, if you want, you can send your drawings into my email to team@edithbekis.com. And you are watching Release with Ease. I'm your host, Edith Bekis, and this was brought to you by Boybrave TV, and we are going on a short break. Hello, hello. Welcome back to Release with Ease. I am your host, Edith Bekis, and this show was brought to you by Boldbrave TV. And if you wonder what are these children drawings here, we were just practicing some subconscious drawing exercises. And I just want to let you know that if you would like to call in and ask me some questions, the numbers are on the screen. So you are able to do that at the end of the show. And I also would like to tell you, if you done the drawing exercise and you would like to get your analysis, then you can send it to my email to team@edithbekis.com. So we talked about subconscious reprogramming, we talked about beliefs, habits, and fears. And again, if you're practicing samadhi meditation, everything is more effortless. So I highly recommend you to do so. If you missed the first episode about the samadhi meditation and how we do that meditation, I highly recommend you to watch it. And also you can tune into my YouTube channel at Magical Karma Priestess, where I have a playlist with several meditations, and you can find the samadhi meditations there as well. So when you do this meditation, is helping you to access those layers of the mind, the subconscious and the unconscious mind and the superconscious mind, so you can actually enter those parts of the mind and do the things much more powerfully. So when you do the subconscious reprogrammings, if you do the meditation up front, so you start with the meditation and you do the reprogramming affirmations after the meditation, it's going to be much more rewarding. It's going to have much more benefits. It's more effective, basically. Okay, so I recommend you to do it after the meditation. And if you want to get more clarity in life, if you are one of those people who feel lost, who looking for answers and you don't know like what direction you want to go, you just don't even have goals, and then you just stuck in your present and you feel like you don't want to do that anymore, what you're doing right now. Again, if you start doing this meditation, you're going to start to have more clarity, more guidance. You start to feel like pulling towards certain directions. Might you even gonna find your path, your purpose through just the meditation. And then I know that it's a big thing out there, like, what is my purpose? Looking for your purpose, right? I can tell you that probably whatever you do right now, it's one of your purpose. So it's not that a big deal. It's not just like you have one purpose in life, right? And then you have to find that very one. It's more like we have several purposes in life, but it's like stages, and then you go in sequences. So basically, whatever you do right now is one of your purpose. But if it doesn't make you happy anymore, or it doesn't make you fulfilled, then probably it's time to move on to your next purpose. Because I believe whenever you started doing this, something was calling you to do that. And then might you felt at the beginning, might you felt happy about it, right? And then later you felt more like drained or exhausted or not so happy about it. So then it's time to basically find your new purpose, which can bring you fulfillment. Because as we change, transform, and learn more things, become more wiser about certain area, then it's time to actually use that new wisdom or that new energy or that new way of being, to create something different. And the purpose can be creation. So there are so many archetype you can, not many, but a couple of archetype you can step into with your purpose. And one of the archetype is the creator. So the creator is basically anybody who's taking on some jobs, some work, because you create when you are at work. You writing documents, you this, you do that, reports, you creating maybe certain materials, whatever you do. Basically, that's when you are in your creating mode. And there is also the archetype for teachers. Like if you are a teacher, that could be different teachers, elementary teacher, you can be a teacher as a coach or a mentor, that you are also a teacher. So some people finding these purpose and archetype later in life, obviously because they were first maybe a creator, they started to master certain things, and then later they become a teacher of that thing. So it's really common to go from one purpose to another. So don't get surprised if it's happening to you as well, and don't be like discouraged or feel less because you are maybe at your creator phase, because that's your purpose currently. And it's just tuning into these energies, just practicing samadhi meditation is allow you to feel also more comfortable in your current situation, accepting more your current situation, and grow out of it easier. Because if you are not in acceptance, then it's much harder actually to step out of it on a positive way. Because if you are not accepting it, you're probably criticizing it and judging it. So probably you have negative emotions around your current situation, and that negative emotion is bringing in more negative things. So if you are able to accept your current situation with a more positive mindset, counting your blessings, and then you start to have those goals, how you can actually go on to your next level and the next level, it's easier if you are in acceptance. It's not just with your situation like work, or it could be even with relationship, it could be with health, because sometimes people are in a health condition what they are very angry about or sad. They are really like feel like something, the whole world is against them, and they can't accept their situation, so they're fighting against their health situation, and from that fighting, from that anger, is really hard to heal, because that's still ruining their own energy, their own body, mind, and soul, being in that negative rage, against their body or against their condition. So the first is always acceptance, and just be like an observer. Why is it happen to me? Why is it happening to me? What's going on? And then just again get some more clarity through the meditation, like what should be the right step, the next step to get out of this. Maybe it's just resting. Maybe the acceptance is just about rest because maybe you overworked, or maybe it's about a sign that you need to change something in your life, maybe a new diet or a new way of being, new way of doing things, new way of exercising. So it's whenever you are sick, it's always give you time for analyzing your life, you reflecting on your past, and then how to adjust things to get to a better place. But do it from acceptance. Accept your situation and work from there, basically. So this is what can make your life much easier. And then with the meditation is really great. And in the coming episodes, we gonna move also towards the unconscious mind, which is a part of the subconscious. And this is also affecting your life. How is it affecting your life? Because it's holding your traumas. And this is what causing triggers. I am sure that you got triggered today, right? What is a trigger? Is anything what is coming to you and causing negative emotions. You can get triggered by your own thoughts. You can get triggered by your environment, anybody around you, but your own thoughts are also pretty much giving you some trouble as well, because sometimes you're just having assumptions, sometimes you are like, oh, what if this, what if that, and then those assumptions creating negative emotions, some stress, anxiety, worry, fear, all of those things. So as soon as you are able to control those thoughts, then it's going to be easier for you to actually eliminating the triggers and being more resilient. And then by being resilient, you're going to get less triggered, and it's going to be very helpful for your well-being. All right. We're going to talk about this much more in the coming episodes, how to actually deal with triggers, how to stop triggers, how to be in peace and harmony, live actually like without guilt and shame, and then without feeling, bad about like being always in a sorrow mode or sorry because of how the world is around us. Because I know that many people is getting affected by the news, because it's like seeing this and that is happening in the other side of the world. And if you are affected by things which is happening the other side of the world, then how much you could be affected by the things which is happening around you, right? So it's pretty tough out there, I know, and that's what I want to make you easier, to make your life easier, and not feeling always that it's just so tough, right? So thank you so much for watching and being here today, and I hope you're coming back next week. We are gonna come at the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, with Release with Ease. And I was your host, Edith Bekis, and this was brought to you by Bold Brave TV. Thank you so much again for being here.